site, 102 Sylvia's Court. I'll try to keep it short, but I got several items. The first one is, and I brought it up at one of the last council meetings, but I couldn't get an answer, is, does anybody know what's going on with the movie theater? Because there's a sign with the movie theater, Robbie, there's a sign coming up there that says, coming soon, March 2025. Does anybody know what that is?
So Larry, I'll proact. I know in the history we hadn't done a lot of things, but this is a short answer. I'll just tell you that proactively, our Candace Pullum has reached out because she saw it on Facebook like everyone else.
Yeah.
But we have had no contact from anyone interested in opening a business there. They haven't applied for any inspections or any permits. So we were concerned and we didn't want the city to be held up as, holding up progress of it opening, but we have heard nothing from the potential owners. And so we don't know anything more than what you know is that there's a sign out there that says they're opening.
Okay. And the second topic I want to bring up, I live close to Sugar Mill, but there's been surveyors out on St. Mary's Road, sort of markings there, and on Coleraine they've been markings, and on Nicola Drive they've been markings for surveyors, and also down Schoolhouse Creek Road. There's markings. I stopped one day and asked him, I said, what are you surveying for? And he said, for the city. So is this for the sewer lines coming from exit 1?
Yes, sir.
Do you know when, is the designs been approved?
Sir?
I just want to know when they're going to start construction, if you have any idea.
They're in the design phase.
Okay. So I hope you realize if they start construction there, those sewer lines on Nicola Drive, it's going to put a crunch on the school there. You got Mary Lee Clark School right there. All right. Third item, and I'll try to keep it short. The intersection of Spur 40 and 40, I see they did remark that intersection on both sides, on 40 and on Spur 40. But the one spot that hasn't been remarked is coming from the shopping center. There's 2 lanes coming out of the shopping center. One is for a left turn only, and one is for a straight ahead or right turn. But these are not marked. And many times I always go straight out of there back to my house. And many times there's a car in the left turn lane that's straight. So I don't know who's responsible for marking those coming out of the shopping centers, at the city or DOT.
I believe it's the shopping center.
Well, can you get on their case?
I got it wrote down,
All right, thank you.
because Mr. Larry White said so.
All right, you're welcome. And also, the other thing I want to bring, I brought up at one of the council meetings before, is there's no physical way, or legal way, for a golf cart to come from where I live at, from 40 and Spur 40, to get downtown. There's no legal crossing for that. We used to do that, used to be able to, but the city changed the ordinance based on DOT's recommendation. So if you could find some way to allow people to cross there with the golf carts to get downtown. And on your topic, what you're going to vote on in the special call city council meeting, I request that you vote no on that and decide later on what you're going to do. Because once you decide you're going to opt in, there's no backing out of that one. So thank you.
Thank you.
King Jelly, 102 Saltgrass Trace, St. Mary's. Mr. Mayor, council members, first thing I'd like to do is thank Mr. Marino for the feedback that he gave me online. At the last meeting when I was up at the microphone, he said I was standing too close and it was garbled. So I'm going to try to back off a little bit on that. So I wanted to say that I thought the discussion amongst all the council members, the mayor, were very impressed with the comments and the approach that's taken relative to 581. I have a lead-in to some comments about 581, and I wanted to tell you about a brand new CEO of a company whose first task was going to be to determine how to increase the profit or the bottom line profit of the company, and asked for input. And after receiving that input, was not satisfied with it from his upper level management, so the CEO hired a company with some skills in that particular area. And the company provided him a feedback in a book that was about that thick. Well, he didn't even bother looking at that book. He just simply gave it back to him and said, "That's too much. Reduce that for me." And the company did, and came back and had a book half that thickness. And he looked at that and said, "That's still too much for me to digest. Come back with something that is simpler." And they did. And they presented him with one sheet of paper. And he looked at it. He says, "This is good. I like it." And that piece of paper said, "There is no such thing as a free lunch." To that end, in the 14-page document that our city clerk so graciously provided to everyone who gets this online, got my attention for about 18 hours. So one thing that was already brought up was the potential impact on our TADs. And I'm just going to briefly, for the public, read this one section. The homestead exemption could potentially reduce the amount of expected property tax revenue growth within the TAD by limiting the assessed value increase of homestead property over time. We're counting on that. We're counting on that income. One other item of interest is, will it affect the county's ability to impose a floating local option sales tax, or FLOST, if another city opts out of the homestead exemption granted by House Bill 581? And the answer is yes. If a city that imposes a property tax opts out, then the county and all cities within the county will be ineligible for the floating optional sales tax. And I'm going to end just simply reading the first major paragraph associated with House Bill 581. It's page 1 of 14 pages. House Bill 581 provides for several significant changes impacting local government revenue. Counties and cities must understand these changes and be prepared to make critical decisions in the coming months that will have lasting impacts. Thank you very much.
Good evening. Christine Adamo, 901 Ann Street. Two issues. They're not really issues. They're strong recommendations. And I attended the retreat both days. So these are both recommendations are based on observations. As a new group of people trying to gel and be a team, I would highly recommend that all of you come together around a 90-day plan. A 90-day plan will help you as well as us know what the priorities are for the next year. That master plan and all of the dialogue and the cut and pasting and this one was number 7, et cetera, was very, very complicated, very confused, and reflects a lot of dialogue that we've had in the past. This is a group of people that's new. We have new people that have run on platforms for transparency, fiscal accountability, and improved communication. Perhaps a 90-day plan centered around those 3 core initiatives and allowing them to lead in your decision-making and your programming, and engaging the rest of us to assist you as your volunteers to help you execute is a good idea. All new leaders have a honeymoon period. 90 days, guys. Our new president says 100. I say 90, 3 months. I really strongly recommend that you pick 3 or 4 targets and totally gel around that and communicate it to us so we can help you. That's number 1. The second, you have to excuse me, I'm a tech head. That's how I made my money 30 years in technology. I'm struck that our technology, although we have a lot of new things coming on board, I'm not sure any of you know any more than I about what we actually have, what works with, what doesn't work with, what capacity each of those technology applications have for improving efficiencies, for bettering communication, for acting as a tool for any of those 90-day initiatives. I strongly recommend a technology audit. All that is sitting down with your 2 guys, our 2 guys, and literally it will take less than 2 or 3 man-days with a couple of volunteers from the community who have tech backgrounds to totally list all the technology that we have. What it does, what it doesn't do, how long we've had it, what we need to do to improve it. And oh, by the way, ask if all of you know how to use it, because I bet you don't. And if you don't, what good is it? Because you're important in facilitating efficiency and communication. So I strongly recommend a technology audit. And I'm certainly available to our 2 people on staff to help with that audit. It's a very easy thing to do to assess an asset that will be very important for everybody to be more efficient, communicate better, and improve the fiscal feasibility of our city.
Thank you. Anyone else? All righty then, we'll close the town hall meeting and we will reconvene at 6:30 for the special call council meeting.
Quickly.